Some men think attraction fades with age. They believe youth is the advantage. Energy, looks, speed, and everything after 40 is just decline. But if you've lived long enough, you've probably noticed something strange. Sometimes without trying, younger women seem more comfortable around you. They listen longer, they hold eye contact, they open up faster. And you didn't do anything special. You didn't flirt harder, you didn't dress younger, you didn't chase. So what changed? Here's the truth. Most men never hear. As you age, you can become attractive in a completely different way. Not loud attraction, not flashy attraction, but something deeper, psychological attraction, the kind that feels safe, grounded, magnetic. Today, we're breaking down 8 quiet signs that you've become that kind of man, the kind women trust before they even realize why. Let's start with the first one. Sign. Sign 1, you're comfortable with silence. 1. You're comfortable with silence. There was a time when silence felt awkward, like a gap you had to fill. You talk faster, explain more, tell extra stories just to keep the moment alive because quiet felt like failure. But now, something changed. You can sit across from someone and not say anything for a few seconds, and it doesn't feel tense, it feels normal, almost peaceful. Here's why this matters. Most younger men still perform constantly. They joke too much, talk too much, try too hard because they're afraid if they stop entertaining, they'll lose attention. But when you're comfortable with balance, you communicate something very different. You signal, I'm not nervous, I'm not trying to impress you, I'm already okay. Psychologically, this reads as confidence, not the loud kind, the grounded kind. And grounded confidence feels incredibly safe, especially to women. You are exhausted by men constantly trying to win them. Your silence becomes space, and space is rare. And rare is attractive. Sign 2, you don't try to impress anymore. Sign 2, you don't try to impress anymore. You've probably noticed this without realizing it. You don't sell yourself anymore. You don't list achievements. You don't exaggerate stories. You don't feel the need to prove you're interesting because honestly, you're tired of performing. You've lived enough life. Know something simple. Anyone you have to convince isn't your person anyway. So now when you talk, you're just talking. No hidden agenda, no strategy. No. How do I sound right now? And here's the strange part. The less you try to impress people, the more interesting you seem, because effort is visible. And visible effort feels insecure, but ease feels authentic. For younger women, this is incredibly refreshing. They're used to men trying to impress them every 5 minutes. So when you don't, you feel real. And authenticity is magnetic. Not because it's flashy, but because it's trustworthy. And trust is the beginning of attraction. Sign 3. Your energy is calm, not reactive. 3. Your energy is calm, not reactive. When something small goes wrong, you don't explode anymore. You don't argue over nothing. You don't get pulled into emotional drama. You've slowed down. Your reactions are softer, more measured, less urgent. And this is bigger than personality. It's biology, because human beings constantly read each other's nervous systems. If someone is tense, you feel tense. If someone is anxious, you feel anxious. That when someone is calm, your body relaxes automatically. This is called co-regulation. Your calm literally tells her brain this person is safe, and safety is one of the strongest attraction triggers that exists. Not excitement, not danger, not mystery. Safety, because safety means I don't have to protect myself here. And when a woman doesn't feel like she has to protect herself around you, she naturally leans closer, not because you tried, but because her body trusts you. And trust always beats. Charm sign for eye contact. Sign 4. Eye contact feels effortless. Feels effortless. Here's something subtle you might have noticed. A younger woman looks at you, holds eye contact just a second longer than normal, then looks away gently. Not rejection, not awkwardness, just awareness. She noticed you, but here's what separates you from younger men. You don't chase the moment. You don't stare harder. You don't lean forward. You don't suddenly try to be impressive. You simply stay still, relaxed, grounded. And that groundedness communicates more confidence than any move ever could. As most men react to attention, you don't. And when someone isn't destabilized by attention, it signals something powerful, self-sufficiency. You don't need validation. You're not hungry. You're not chasing approval. And psychologically, that reads as high value because people are drawn to those who don't need anything from them. Your eye contact says, I see you, but I'm not trying to take anything from you. And that feels incredibly safe. And sign 5, people describe you as calm or easy to talk to, incredibly attractive. Sign 5, people describe you as calm or easy to talk to. At some point, you probably notice something subtle. The compliments changed. Nobody calls you funny guy or wild or crazy energy anymore. Instead, they say things like, you're easy to talk to. I feel comfortable around you. You're really calm. I don't know why, but I can just talk to you. These sound small, almost boring, but psychologically, these are some of the strongest compliments you can receive because what they're really saying is this: my nervous system relaxes around you, and relaxation is deeply intimate. Think about it. How many people you truly relax around? Very few. Most social interactions require effort, performance masking. But when someone feels they don't have to perform around you, they feel safe. And when a woman feels safe emotionally, she opens up faster, trusts faster, connects faster, not because you're trying to attract her, but because her body isn't defending itself. And when there's no defense, connection happens naturally. That's quiet attraction. And it lasts longer than any spark ever. Sign 6. You've stopped fighting your age could. Sign 6. You've stopped fighting your age. A lot of men make this mistake. They try to compete with younger guys. They chase trends that don't fit them. They hide gray hair. They try to look 25 forever, and without realizing it, they look insecure. Because pretending you're not aging sends one message, I'm afraid. But you've stopped fighting it. You accepted the lines on your face, the slower pace, the quieter lifestyle. And something strange happened when you did. You didn't look older. You looked distinguished, and distinguished hits differently. It suggests depth, experience, stories, survival. The man who has lived. And women, especially mature or emotionally intelligent women, are extremely sensitive to that because youth can be exciting, but depth feels reliable. Depth feels safe. Depth feels like someone who won't disappear when things get hard. So when you stopped going to look younger, you actually started looking more attractive, not to everyone, but to the right people. And that's what really matters. Sign 7, you enjoy being alone. Since 7, you enjoy being alone. Here's something most men never talk about. Neediness is loud. You can feel it instantly. The guy who texts too much, talks too much, needs constant reassurance, constant attention, constant validation. It feels heavy, draining because it creates pressure. But you're okay alone. Don't panic without messages. You don't chase people when they pull back. You don't feel like someone else has to complete your day. You have your routines, your quiet evenings, your own company. And paradoxically, this independence makes you more attractive because when you don't need someone, your interest feels clean, not desperate, not clingy, just genuine. People don't feel trapped around you. They feel chosen. And attraction grows in freedom, not pressure. Always remember that pressure pushes people away. Freedom pulls them closer. And your self-sufficiency creates freedom automatically. Sign it. People open up to sign 8. People open up to you without you trying. You without you trying. This is the sign most men overlook. And honestly, it's the strongest one. You've probably experienced this. Someone you barely know suddenly starts telling you personal things, their struggles, their past things. They don't usually tell people, and you didn't even ask. They just felt safe enough to share. That's not luck. That's your presence because you don't interrupt, you don't judge, you don't rush to fix, you don't turn the conversation back to yourself. You simply listen. And real listening is rare. So rare that when someone experiences it, it feels intimate almost immediately. Psychologically, when someone feels deeply heard, their brain releases trust chemicals, oxytocin bonding, safety. And in that moment, you're not just attractive, you're trusted. And trust is the deepest form of attraction there is, stronger than looks, stronger than charm, stronger than status, because trust says, I feel safe being vulnerable with you. And vulnerability is where real connection begins. So maybe attraction isn't what we were taught. Maybe it isn't about being louder or younger, Or why age increases attraction, psychology explained, trying harder. Maybe it's something quieter, something that only shows up after years of living, after mistakes, after heartbreaks, after letting go of the exhausting need to impress everyone until one day you realize you're not performing anymore. You just resent your movement slower, your voice calmer, your energy steady, and strangely people start leaning toward you instead of away. Not because you're chasing them, but because you feel safe to be around. And safety in a chaotic world is incredibly rare. Rare things are always attractive. So if you recognized yourself in several of these signs, don't see it as luck. Final thoughts. Confidence beats youth. Don't see it as coincidence. See it as something earned, not through tactics, not through tricks, but through experience, through growth, through becoming comfortable in your own skin. Because sometimes the most attractive man in the room is simply the one who isn't trying to be. Which of these signs felt most true for you? Comment below. I'm curious how many quietly recognize themselves tonight.